Hi. I've been thinking about a statement that I've heard from a couple of friends and people that I very much respect, where during this unrest regarding police and blacks and the protests that are going on, that a couple of people stated very categorically, I don't have a racial bias bone in my body. Not a prejudice bone in my body. And I've thought about those statements. And I reflected back on myself. Do I have a racially biased bone in my body? And I wasn't sure how to talk about that. I wasn't sure how to handle that. So I've shifted just a little bit, and I'm wondering, do I have any prejudice tumors in my body or cancers in my body? Are there things going on in my bones or in my body that have just been sitting there, that are maybe benign, maybe they're growing, maybe they're shrinking or whatever, and that for me lands in a different place. Then suddenly the protests and the unrest that's going on and the questions that are being presented from people that I know and I'm in a relationship right now, then it feels more like an X-ray. It feels more like something's penetrating into me, and my question is, are there things going on in my heart, in my gut, in my brain that are latent, benign, or maybe growing, or have been shrinking again? And are there ways that I can identify them, first of all? And then the next question is, when I do identify such prejudice or systemic bias, how do I get treatment for it? How do I begin to shrink those parts of me that I would say do not belong? Prejudice does not belong from my beliefs, from my values, from my perspective on life. Bias does not belong. Now, I trust that I am not anti. That's not something active going on the outside that I can recognize, or people around me would say, oh, that's just blatant, that's horrible. What about these other things that are inside that may affect and do affect? So do I have a prejudice bone in my body? Maybe it's the wrong question. Are there things within the way I think, the way I feel, the way I value, the way I might have a selfishness or behave or not be proactive toward reaching out and seeking change, seeking something better for our country, for my relationships? Is there something like that going on? That's a different question. So I'm wondering, are there pockets of something in me? A benign tumor? Cancerous tumor? Are there things within me that I would want to know about and say, yeah, that's something that I want to attend to, something that I want to listen for, find help for, to find ways of shrinking that or removing that from my life so I can be healthier in my relationships, that I can be healthier in the way I contribute to the world, or as I've said recently, that I can be a more transforming presence myself because I don't have these things within me that are, without me even realizing it, transforming me in a way that I don't want to be transformed. So maybe when you hear that statement, I don't have a prejudice bone in my body, maybe you say, well, that may be, but I wonder if we have things, have tumors, have pockets of things that, I don't know, maybe they got implanted growing up, and I can identify some things that might have gotten planted in me with kind of the culture that I grew up with in Southwest Michigan. And maybe got implanted through media, without even realizing it, breathing in something that led to this prejudice tumor. So I hope you will join me in wondering about, and this time for me is a time of protest, is a time of struggle, and I hope it will become, in part or a byproduct of that, will be like an X-ray that I will see and go, that's something that I want to attend to. Let's think about that for ourselves and see what changes we could make that might help us become more of a transforming presence toward a life, toward a country, toward a world that is healthier for all. Have a great week.